Think you've seen all the rare horse breeds Europe has to offer? Think again. Get ready to discover 6 Romanian origin horse breeds the world has almost completely forgotten. From war horses that once pulled artillery through the Carpathians, to the last truly wild horses still roaming free in Europe, many of these breeds have fewer than a few hundred left. This isn't just a journey into horse history, it's a search for the living relics of Eastern Europe's forgotten past. Number 6. Calgro Romanesque, Romanian heavy draft. Nicknamed the silent beast of the Carpathians, Calgro emerged in the late 19th century at the Băneasa and Hucul studs, bred from Ardennes and Percheron stock crossed with local Wallachian horses. Standing 64-68 inches, 16 to 17 hands, and weighing 1,600 to 1,900 pounds, this powerhouse sports rock-hard hooves and a solid frame that hauls heavy artillery or timber across snow-choked mountain trails, even at 4-degree fur without shoes. Once the backbone of Romania's forestry and farming, the breed has dwindled to roughly 1,600 purebreds. Though numbers crashed after tractors took over in the 1990s, Calgro still holds a healthy gene pool, anchored by 2 nucleus herds at Hucul and Lucina. It lands at number 6 because it isn't yet on the brink. Genetic diversity, He 0.64, remains recoverable, backed by a 2018 national program that funds breeders and DNA test stallions. Against France's Breton Trait du Nord, Calgro is nearly 1,000 pounds lighter, yet outperforms on steep slopes, with 35% fewer hoof rot issues. Compared with Denmark's Jutland, it shows markedly lower arthritis rates thanks to a more balanced bone structure. No flash, no fanfare, just raw, quiet strength. Still, somewhere down those cold, muddy trails awaits a smaller, wilder, tougher challenger. That hard-headed rebel holds the number 5 spot. Number 5. Bukavina horse. This breed doesn't win on looks or speed. It wins on sheer grit. The Bukavina, a mountain horse native to Romania's northeast, is the silent war horse that's hauled timber, salt, and soldiers through ice and conflict for generations. Standing about 53 to 55 inches, 13 to 14 hands, and weighing 901,000 pounds, it packs a compact body, short back, dry legs, and rock-hard hooves, perfect for brutal switchbacks and freezing passes. Bred in the 19th century at the Lucina stud, Bukavina horses were spun off from the local Hucul line to serve forestry crews and light cavalry for the Austro-Hungarian crown. Though it shares Hucul DNA, Bukavina was isolated and refined. Smaller frame, tougher in the cold, built to survive hard mountain living. It lands at number 5 because only about 1,500 purebreds remain. Yet it still holds strong genetic purity and diversity thanks to a tight closed stud book. Romania's 2020 mountain horse program now bankrolls breeders and tracks every pedigree. Compared with Europe's other mountain horses, the Astrakhan or Bosnian mountain horse, the Bukavina carries more muscle, pulls heavier loads, and works above 3,000 feet without fading. Next to the Potok, it's easier to train and shrugs off the damp, cold respiratory issues that plague many ponies. Still, deep in the Carpathians lurks an even older horse, practically the last breath of the wild tarpan. Number 4. Hucul. Locals call the Hucul the spirit of the mountains, not because it's the biggest, but because no horse has been part of these slopes longer. One of Eastern Europe's oldest purebreeds and a direct descendant of the wild tarpan, the Hucul has thrived for centuries at 3,000 to 5,000 feet without human pampering. Standing 52 to 54 inches, 13 to 13.2 hands, and weighing 808 to 950 pounds, it's compact, sure-footed, and armed with rock-hard hooves. First logged in Austro-Hungarian military records in the 17th century, the Hucul served as scout cavalry, light artillery hauler, and pack horse for salt and munitions across brutal passes. Lucina stud, founded in 1856, remains the breed's genetic vault. A 2021 DNA study shows Romanian Huculs still carry 68 to 72% of the original tarpan haplotypes, making them one of Europe's most ancient equine bloodlines. It ranks number 4 because, while the global count hovers around 4,000, Romania alone keeps 1,200 to 300 pure animals. The breed isn't vanishing by the numbers, but its cultural and genetic value is off the charts. Put it beside Poland's Konik, a lab-recreated tarpan look-alike, and the Hucul is calmer, tougher, and proven where it matters. Real mountain work. Stick around though, Up next is a horse heavier than the Hucul, wilder than the Bukavina, born of a half-finished experiment in muscle and mountain terrain. That one claims spot number 3. Number 3. Semigrew Romanesque, Romanian semi-heavy horse. If heavy draft horses are tanks, then the Semigrew is a mountain 4x4, built for power and agility, capable of hauling timber and carrying riders across Romania's toughest terrain. Developed in the late 19th century by crossing Ardennes, Percheron, and local Carpathian stock, the Semigrew stands 60-64 inches, 50-16 hands tall, weighs 1,200 to 1,500 pounds, and features a deep chest, thick hooves, and a balanced, muscular frame. Once common in Romania's highlands, the breed has declined sharply. Only 300 to 400 purebreds remain, with no national breeding program and widespread crossbreeding. It ranks number 3 not only for its extreme rarity, but also because it teeters on the edge of extinction, despite still being incredibly useful in mountain farming. Compared to Austria's Norker, the Semigrew is lighter, handles cold better, and moves more fluidly over slopes. Against Britain's Suffolk Punch, it shows fewer hoof and joint problems and adapts far better to rugged forested terrain. It's not flashy, but the Semigrew is a workhorse in the purest sense. If it disappears, Romania won't just lose a breed, it'll lose a piece of its mountain soul. But next up is a royal-blooded horse, famed for its grace, discipline, and the kind of elegance that once danced in front of emperors. Number 2. Lipizzan, Romanian Lipizzan. More than a war horse, the Romanian Lipizzan is pure nobility, elegance, discipline, and royal swagger rolled into one. Spun off from the original Lipica line of the old Austro-Hungarian Empire, Romania's Lipizzans have been bred independently for over a century at studs like Sâmbătă de Jos and Bănțida, adapting to Eastern Europe's climate and carving out their own substrain. Standing 60 to 64 inches, 15 to 16 hands, and weighing 1,000 to 1,200 pounds, they show the classic high-arched neck, rock-steady stance, and signature gray-to-white coat. Their claim to fame? The airs above the ground, those gravity-defying leaps perfected since the 1500s at the Spanish riding school. Roughly 1,000 to 1,200 purebreds remain in Romania. That keeps them at number 2. Not ultra-rare, but priceless in historical and cultural weight, backed by strict genetic records. Compared with the Kladruber Czech or Lusitano, Portugal, Romanian Lipizzans are gentler, easier to train, and still handy for light farm work. If the Lipizzan is discipline and royalty personified, then number 1 flips the script. A horse that's wild, self-sufficient, utterly untamed, thriving in one of Europe's toughest wildernesses. Number 1. Danube Delta horse. No barns, no saddles, no human caretakers. The Danube Delta horse is the last truly wild horse breed in Romania, surviving in one of Europe's harshest wetland ecosystems. Standing about 54 to 58 inches, 13.2 to 14.2 hands, and weighing 801,000 pounds, these compact muscular horses have tough natural hooves and the strength to wade through mud, swim across rivers, and push through thick reed beds, especially during the annual floods. It ranks number 1, not for noble blood or historic fame, but because the Danube Delta horse is a living symbol of pure survival, the last of its kind in Europe to exist without human dependence. A horse that doesn't need us to survive and makes us wonder, are we quietly losing the last wild things this world still has?